My name is Corey. I'm a dad, and I'm going to apologize up front. I'm going to talk about my son a lot this morning. So I am thankful for this little ball. This is one of Chalmers's, my son Chalmers, soon to be 1 year old. It's one of the little balls he plays with constantly, nonstop, every day. He's at home right now, but if you're watching this, Chalmers, I'm sorry I took one of your balls. I'm thankful for this. And so I'm going to tell you the story of Chalmers and his little favorite toy ball. So about a month and a half ago, I was having a really hard day. Like a really hard day, because I'm a human. And I was stressed out about everything going on in the world. I was upset by things that were happening in this country and abroad. It was like an overcast day, and so my mental health was a little down, a little dreary. I didn't sleep good the night before. I was trying to do some work, and my beloved brain wasn't working very well that day. So I was just having a hard day. It's kind of down in the dumps. And so I get home from work after baseball practice, and I walk in the door, and Chalmers is sitting there, just kind of playing with his toys. I sit down and play with him for a little bit, and then he picks one of the balls up. I can't remember if it's this exact one, but he picks one of the balls up, and he looks at it, and he holds it in the air like this, and he looks at it like it's the most amazing thing in the world. Like nothing in the world is cooler and more amazing than this ball. And I look at him, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. I feel you. But like, he holds it there, y'all, for like 5 minutes. The dogs, our two dogs are playing and running around. Like, M's doing something that's making a lot of noise, right? Like, you can hear children in the background coming home from school in the apartment complex, and he's just locked in on this. So I just sat there watching him, thinking nothing of it. And finally, he brings it back down and is still looking at it. And then he looks at me, and he goes, yeah. And I was just like, what? What just happened? And so I roll it back to him. Oh, thank you. I know how to catch, but thank you. And I roll it back to him, and he does it again, but this time it just goes like straight sideways. And I roll it back to him, and sometimes he'll throw it, and it goes backwards. But after every throw, he laughs. And he finds joy in it. And it doesn't matter if it's not accurate. It doesn't matter where it goes. I've had a lot of moments in my life where I was really proud, where I felt a lot of emotions. But growing up a baseball player and coaching baseball now, and missing playing catch with my dad as a kid and missing playing catch with my grandparents, I'd looked forward to that moment for a long time. And then that moment came. And it made me realize that the prayers that I had been praying all morning when I just felt like down in the dumps of like, hey, God, can you just show up in my life somewhere? Give me a little bit of hope, a little bit of peace, a little bit of love, a little bit of joy. And I'll be darned if I thought it was going to be this big theological, mind-blowing realization. I'll be darned if I thought it was going to be because I read a scripture that I've been reading time and time again, and God would bop me over the head and be like, here it is. But it came through a little plastic, 25-cent ball. Lesson number 1. God will show up in the small things, in the small ways, when we need it the most, but also we're not looking for it. Because not only did God calm me down and bring me peace and made me think, hey, the future's going to figure itself out because this moment right here is good and it's joyful and it exists and it's real and it's God's love. But God worked in the small things because it made me realize that the holidays are coming up, that I'm going to miss my grandfather. I'm going to miss my pop-pop. I'm going to miss moments when Chalmers is about to be won. I'm going to miss people. I'm going to miss moments from the past that I'll never be able to replicate. And that's okay. But I'm going to have new moments where God's going to go, hey, here's my love. Here's my peace. Lesson number 1, God showing up in the little things in life. And for that, we should be thankful for. But the story doesn't end with Chalmers in this little ball. So fast forward about a month. Chalmers was sick on Monday of this week. He had hand, foot, and mouth. Has anybody ever heard of that? It's really not fun. It's gross. I won't get into it. But he wasn't feeling good. He was really not feeling good on Monday. And so there was like a moment where I'm like, hey, I'm going to cheer you up, dude. I'm going to put you in the playpen and play with you. And he sat down and he started wailing. Like just wailing. And I'm like, okay, bad idea, but like let's like try to move. Like let's see if our body will feel a little bit better. Let's try to have some fun. And so I hand him the ball. And he looked at it again. And he cried at it. Like he didn't cry at me, he didn't cry at mom, he didn't cry at the dogs, he cried at the ball. And then he had faith. He had faith that this simple little object, this thing that brought him joy of throwing over the last month and a half, was going to bring him joy in that moment. And so he had the faith to go back to it. And he felt terrible, y'all. And he was crying, and then he threw it, and they laughed for like 2 seconds, and he started crying again, and I handed him the ball, and he stopped crying and threw it, and like chuckled for a second, and then started crying again, and I did that over and over and over again with him. Lesson number 2 from this little thing. Have the faith of a child. Have the faith that if there's something in your life that brings you joy, go back to it. If there's a little way in which God's saying, hey, come here, let me give you a loving embrace, go back to it. The beauty of our faith is this. We can have the most complex, theological, mind-bending discussions, and that's beautiful and that's great, but we also should have a faith of a child like our scripture says. Something brings you joy, if it's simple, go back to it. Something makes you feel God's presence, go back to it. Doesn't matter how mundane it might seem. Doesn't matter if it seems insignificant in the realm of the craziness of the world right now. Have faith and go back to it. And so Chalmers felt better, and we kept playing with the ball throughout the week. And then he learned a new skill. I call it a skill because I'm trying to have a positive mindset. He learned that he can throw things other than just this. And so we're hanging out on Friday night. He's feeling better again. And he realized that he can throw this at one of our dogs. Now, there's 2 things that I could learn from this. 1, he's just trying to terrorize the dog because he's a little kid and he thinks that's funny. Or 2, this is the one I want to focus on. He's learning how to share. His little mind and body and soul is saying, hey, this brings me joy. Here you go. Hey, this is fun. Look how much fun you can have with this. Here you go. Now, he did it so much so that like he thought that a meatball was also something that he could spread joy and throw at me, but that's not the point. He saw something that brought him joy, something that God was showing up through, and he didn't keep it to himself. He let it go. Here's the kicker. He can do that without really thinking that much. And I know when we have a play date this upcoming week, I know that him and like some of his friends that are around his age, they're going to fight over the ball. And I know I'm not making that point right now. But he knows as a kid who hasn't experienced the brutality of what it means to be a human, who doesn't comprehend how much pain so much of us feel on a daily basis because that's life and that's what it means human. He doesn't comprehend that. But he knows from the moment he was born that he should be thankful that God will show up in small ways and to spread it and to pass it on and to give it as much as he can. The holidays might be hard this year. The holidays are going to be great this year because we're human and we are full of emotion and live full lives. We're going to miss some people. It's going to feel different than it did last year and the year before and the year before. God's going to show up in something small. Are you ready for it? You're going to find joy this season. You're going to find love. You're going to find peace. Are you going to give thanks for it? And then are you going to spread it? Are you going to keep it to yourself? Or are you going to chuck it at someone as hard as you can?